come about it in the state, the legacies of America. Like ideally should be the model. It had been moved for it to be banned because of the kind of negative impact it's having on the society. And there was a period in Nigeria that we tried to introduce a bill limiting the use of social media. And of course, it came with a lot of backlash, and they're trying to guide the society. But what I want to implore or enjoin all of you, particularly the youth, is that Nigeria is a great country. The constitutional responsibility is told on the Nigerian Army, particularly, and the armed forces of Nigeria. The institution of Nigeria is safe for everybody to do his or her own business. As Dr. Hayes mentioned, you need to always verify sources and fact checked. Somebody somewhere can just sit down somewhere and bring us something and put a makeover voice to portray something that never happened as being true, as being correct. We've seen a lot of instances like that, but I think I will ask you all, it is important that we should put Nigeria first at all times. National security is actually very, very important, because without peace, we cannot progress and there can't be development. On the issue of amplifying community support efforts, please, Nigerian Army, Nigerian Armed Forces is part of the society. I have seen it as we are your brothers, we are your fathers, we are your sisters, uncles, and like that and like that. So why do you need to destroy the military? We will continue to be professional in line with professional responsibilities. We will continue to work by the rules of engagement. And it is important on your own part. Let's look at the positive aspects of Nigeria. And that is the way we can move forward. And look at the positive aspects of the Nigerian Army. I want to believe that we all do all this together. I think Nigeria will be good for it. I, from time to time, go to the social media, even though I'm not a social media person. There was one post I saw, I think about 3 weeks ago. I think Renu Omokri or so made the post. When dollar was 1,800 or 1,009, the social media was abuzz with Nigeria is this, Nigeria is that. Now it went to 1,000, everybody is keeping quiet. Where is that patriotism in us? So we should always look out for the best in what your military is doing. The military that you see today, the Nigerian army you see today, is not on our own that we are responsible. It is taxes that each and every one of us are paying that the Nigerian army is being run. And we owe you that responsibility. The Nigerian army, as inspired by the Army Chief of Army Staff, is the people's army. It's not that we are just on our own. I will just enjoy all of you. Please, it is actually very important. We see how we can curtail negative content on social media, and we, as a responsible individual of Nigeria and as a nation, we must all work together. And I cannot but wish each and every one of you a good outing for the remaining days for the time you have today. So on this note, I want to thank each and every one of you from Operation Udoka to appreciate all the support you've been giving to us and to wish you all the best. Thank you and God bless.
Thank you very much for that. Please, let's give a standing ovation as the special guest of honor for this auspicious occasion, Major General Dada take his leave. Thank you very much, sir.
Agora. Oh, you look at
Please, you may take your seats.
Yes, I know.
Thank you very much. You two want to. For want of time, permit me to let us know that we have a second paper presentation, which will be done by the next presenter, Professor J. Ogbonna, and it's on the topic fake news on social media and its effects on national security. To do justice to this, just like earlier said, is Professor J. Ogbonna, permit me to read an abbreviated version of his curriculum vitae before inviting to take the microphone. Professor Joshua Uzoma Ogbonna hails from Eziama Mbusi in Isialangwa, South Local Government Area of Abia State. He is a professor with over 30 years of working experience. Our erudite and resource person is a member of many academic and professional organizations, including Information Technology, Computer Professionals of Nigeria, American Society of Programming, and Remote Sensing, to mention but a few. Professor Joshua Uzoma Ogbonna is a lecturer at the Department of Geography and Director, Institute for Continuing Education, Abia State University, Uturu. He has been involved in various training, both international and local, in the area of analyzing data using geography information system and quantitative models to create and design database for optimal use. Our professor is happily married, and the union is blessed with 3 quality children. Please join me with a round of applause as I welcome Professor J.U. Ogbonna to take the microphone. Applause.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Standing on the well-established Starting on well-established protocol.
Sorry?
My name is Professor J. Ogbonna. I've been taught to speak on fake news on social media and its effect on national security. In Nigeria, there is freedom of expression, which empowers free exchange of ideas, opinions, and information. These freedoms are within limits. If in the course of this freedom we spread misleading information by presenting them as legitimate, that constitutes a fake news. Fake news has not been with us during the war years, like the Civil War. Fake news were a form of propaganda. But there's one interesting thing about the fake news at that time. Distance friction was a problem in the transmission of data or information. At that time, the source of fake news were from radio, what we call radio without battery. That's what we call them, radio without battery. Because you are saying what you really do not know. But with the advent of technology, that distance friction was broken down so that data is now on real time. That gives us freedom of spreading all sorts of information. Because of that, it led to the emergence of social media, which is referred to as the variety of technologies and facilitate the sharing of ideas and information among users. Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, Telegram, WeChat, YouTube, which more than 4.7 billion people use worldwide. Remember, at this point, there are no longer distance friction. Because there are no longer friction, the transmission becomes seamless. Also, with the introduction of TikTok, Signal, and Snapchat, this population has increased. And one interesting thing about it is that basically most of these people are within the age range of 14 to 45 plus years. The overuse of media by our youth has raised questions about its effects on their physical and mental health by distracting them, disrupting their sleep, and exposing them to online bullying. Despite some benefits of the social media, this platform has become the breeding ground for spread of fake news. In Nigeria, where social media usage is widespread and diverse, the impact of fake news on national security is particularly pronounced and worrisome. Let us understand what is fake news. Presently, fake news has become more intense in recent times as a result of widespread internet news and low-cost access to social media channels, competitive politics and intensified poverty, and a religious rivalry. Nigeria is a nation with security concerns in various parts. Such concerns or threats are seen as multiple conflicts, systemic and massive corruption, crippling poverty, secession threats through perceived marginalization, hostility, and economic crisis. Fake news of the above security concerns will deceive the general public and add to an already strained political climate by inciting communal and retaliatory security breaches here and there. Nevertheless, the spread of fake news hotel if the media cultivates a culture of fact-checking and verifying information prior to going to press. During the last election, we noticed that the Arise News were always fact-checking most of their news items so that they will be associated as propagating fake news. Most of us don't even know the types of fake news. Some of the time, we do things without knowing that what we're doing is fake news. Like jokers, those who crack jokes. Jokes are not harmful, but at times it becomes harmful. If they exaggerate original content to create comedic effects, the intendment is to entertain, but their presentation may be harmful and deceitful. Some of the time, the content is misleading. This refers to the deliberate dissemination of false or misleading information disguised as legitimate news, such as fabricated stories, distorted facts, manipulated image or video, and false narrative. We've been talking about this manipulated videos. The first presenter said that it goes beyond, trying to look at what the content is trying to manipulate. One thing that we must know is that most of the videos we see, some of them are animated. Why? Because the image you see on the screen are made of what we call pixels. Those pixels are interactive. If you want to observe pixels in your home, put it in a CD. And while you're playing the CD, if there are scratches on that CD, you notice that the edge of that CD will be in form of edges. Notice some edges. Telling you that that image is made up of pixels. And those pixels are interactive. Because they're interactive, you can edit that pixel. When you edit the pixel, you have changed the image. Some of the time, people do that. People can also go ahead and remove you from a scene. You were in that scene. You participated in the scene. But when the video is released, you are not there. Because you are dealing with an image with high capability pixels. You remove that person. You can also create individuals. Two persons committed an offense. But when the report is given, you see a crowd. These are things that can be created now because of the emergence of science and technology. And when you do that, deliberately, you are presenting a fake news, and which is very, very, very dangerous. These fake news are disseminated through social media websites and traditional media outlets, the radio, television, and also the fake news, when you do not have checked, with the intent of influencing public opinion, advancing certain agenda, or generating profit at the expense of national security. There is what we call influencer content. This refers to any type of content that pretends to be something which is not. They include impersonation, content that mimic the appearance or style of legitimate source. That is not. We have false attribution, content that falsely attributes statements or actions to a person or entity, often to manipulate public opinion or spread misinformation. We also have what is referred as manipulated media, content that has been altered or manipulated in a way that misrepresents reality, like the deepfakes, the edited images, videos, receiving the quotes. These are popular in every day. But most of the time we don't know the implication of what we're doing. We're going to discuss that today to find out why we should not do that. The most of content can particularly be problematic in a digital age where it is very rapidly through social media and other online platforms, potentially causing confusion, harm, or damage to reputation. We also have manipulated content. Manipulated content refers to any type of digital media such as images, audio recording, that in all time to convey false narrative. You know, there are software that in the market, very cheap software that can help you to do all this. The image, doctor the video, doctor the video. Mistake quotes can change, manipulate somebody's voice, manipulate, you know, create the content that you will see that the voice is Jenny's voice. But Jenny was not there when the thing happened. Because the software will use, as long as, I repeat, as long as that image is on 3D, as long as it's on three dimension, be it audio, you can edit. That is why for lawyers and judges and magistrates, you do not accept any 3D image without finding out the source. Because you can change it, you can recreate an image. You can bring into an event something that is not there, and the person participating fully, and it's not there at all. You know, a person committed a crime, and when the case begins, that person is not seen. The person who reported, they didn't bring the person who committed the crime, but the image had been edited. The best, which is still the best, is observation. You see, you justify it, so not transferred images or information. Some of the time, they are not real. They are absolutely not real. But if you have the software that can perfect everything about that person, but the person is not there. That is why when we talk about fake news, it's a serious business. Very, very serious. But the software that we have to create fake news at all times and deceive the state and deceive the country. Manipulated content can be used for various purposes. For spreading misinformation, propaganda. In an area where digital media can easily alter and share content, it's important to critically evaluate the extent of content they encounter and to rely on trusted sources for information. Additionally, advancements in technology and digital forensics are being made to help detect and combat manipulated content. There is one we call fabricated content. When news content is 100% false, designed to deceive and do harm, that is a fabricated content. This includes written articles, images, videos, audio recording, or any other form of digital content that present false information as if it were true. They are intentionally created for misinformation, as I said earlier, to mislead people, create attention, and create panic. Let us now try to see, bring in the issue of national security, which is exactly why we are here. So that we will see how what we will say will impact on the army. National security encompasses all measures taken by government to ensure the safety and protection of our citizens, institutions, infrastructure, and territory from threats, both domestic and foreign. National security also involves the combination of military defense, intelligence gathering and analysis, law enforcement, and also aims to maintaining the sovereignty and integrity of the nation while safeguarding its citizens and interests. Security is associated with the existence of peace, protection, happiness, and the safety of physical and human assets, as opposed to crisis and dangers of potential harm. Security agencies include Army, Navy, Air Force, Police, and others. The existence of peace aids progress and purpose of economic growth. You see, we're talking about security agencies, and I've told you who they are. We call them security agencies. We have agents of security. These are two different groups. We have security agencies, security and a security agent. We also have agents of security. The difference between these two is that agents of security went through a training, and wears a uniform. He has a uniform that differentiates him from the crowd. And he's given two tools to drive his job. One is a gun. Another one is an internet of things, which is called the phone. If you check any of our security agents, you will see a phone. Why? Because that phone breaks down the friction of distance. By breaking down the friction of distance, seamlessly it transfers information. I use the word information here. Most of us, what we call information is not information. That is data. Most of the things people use at times is data, and they are raw. Because they are raw, it has not gone into scientific filter. You cannot use it on a security agent. You want to transfer maybe to an army. You transfer a raw data. No. You transfer information. Information is processed data. That's the difference between the two. What we call information is processed data. As a processed data, which you call information, is reliable, it's useful, it has high level of confidence. That is what we call information. Not the thing we just post. They are data. Because most of the time, we don't even know the source. Then they're not supposed to use it. Like I said earlier, who are agents of security? Agents of security is you and me. We don't wear uniform. Security agents wear uniform. But we do not wear uniform. We are also part of security. We are agents of security. In the transmission line, the security agents, they adopt what we call top-bottom approach, where we adopt bottom-top approach. We send information to them, not data. Because they ask, what is the source of this thing we are sending? When you cannot justify the source, it's data. Unless you said, I saw it happen. Not that Jay told me. You go to Jay, you say, John told me. That is a hand-down logic. It will not be right. The anytime we're talking about security, I had when the military of God was saying, all of us are part and parcel of this thing called security. It is not just for the army. It's not just for the police. Most of the time, they work on what we give them in terms of credible information. You must give them information that is credible so that they can use it. And now they have a tool. You also have a tool, which is called the phone, which has broken down the frictions of distance, that transmits information seamlessly. The only thing we now need is that the military will allow the agents of security to have access to their transmission line, which is called their numbers. And I still argue, yes, if you go to the military website, you see their hotlines. How many people get there? The military can go beyond that by partnering with like MTN Glo, so that any time you switch on the phone, you want to call, that military will flash. There will be a stream of those lines, so that at all times wherever you are, you have a number to call. Not just be putting it on the website where very few we have access to, and very few knows what website is. But today, virtually everyone from those in primary school uses phone. If they can use phone and understand what the phone does, maybe just switch on the phone, pick up the phone to call the military lines to flash. At any time you have a problem, the only thing you need is get on that phone, put it on, the thing will flash, so that you can pick up the one to call. And there are hotlines, not waiting at the point when you start calling somebody, you start asking somebody to give you the military hotline. By that time you are in trouble. Okay, let's continue. Yeah. Movement of information from agents of security to security agents are mostly virtual in liberalized spaces, providing unhindered access to data and information in large scale, which is correct because we're talking about use of phone. Then discussions and relationships are virtual. Such access to information comes with benefits: freedom to interact, share information, and pass comment without fear of physical harassment. What I mean by that is this: if actually we've seen ourselves as agents of security and we are functioning synchronously and interoperably with the agents, the security agents, we should pass on information to them without harassment. Okay. And without fear. Okay. The Nigerian Army adopts, I may be quoted wrongly here, the Nigerian Army adopts community security evangelism. Let me repeat for the soldiers to wait. The Nigerian Army adopts community security evangelism through the establishment of schools, hospitals, building of roads, village halls, social centers in various towns and villages throughout the country to show conviviality and friendship. The army is your friend. Do not fear them. Give them information and not data that may be fake. But you can fear them if you have hidden agenda. When your data content is fabricated or false, always make sure that information you are sharing across the various social media platforms are accurate. Like they are putting on uniforms here. There are some people that are suffering from uniform phobia. They just see the uniform, they are already afraid. Without knowing that these same people are brothers, they are fathers, laying their lives for us. If they say this, every soldier, please move your uniform, you know who they are. The soldier is in them. The uniform is for identification. You can remove that uniform. You have not changed the soldier in them. People that are trained to respect law and help you respect law and protect you. Then they are friends. And as I said, with their community security evangelism, they have been able to do so many things in our villages. They can't do that if they hate us. They're able to do that to help you enjoy your locality. The relative peace in Abia State is now attributed to the level of information mix between the army, the security agents, and the agents of security. We believe that at the end of this seminar, the level of peace in Abia will grow higher. Let's look at the implication of fake news on national security. The effects of fake news on national security are far-reaching. At societal level, it contributes to the polarization of communities along ethnic, religious, and political lines, eroding social cohesion and fostering mistrust between groups. It aggravates hatred and mistrust amongst communities, ethnic groups, and societies. Politically, fake news undermines the legitimacy of democratic process. fueling electoral violence, and sowing seeds of discord among citizens or even brothers. Economically, it can disrupt investments and trade through tourism and hinder foreign relations, thereby impeding national development. All this is what I'm talking about are the effects of fake news. Let's now go into the impact of fake news on national and state security. One, ethnic and religious tension. Nigeria is ethnically and religiously diverse, and fake news often stokes tension between different groups. For instance, false reports or manipulated images depicting attack by one ethnic or religious group on another can rapidly escalate into violence, leading to loss of life and destruction of property. Political instability. Fake news often spread during elections, aiming to manipulate public opinions, discredit opponents, or undermine the legitimacy of the electoral process. Terrorism and insurgency. Nigeria has been grappling with terrorism and insurgency, particularly from groups like Boko Haram. Fake news related to these issues can be both inciting, it can incite fear and panic among the population. Okay. Economic sabotage. False reports about economic policies are very sorry placed. False reports about economic policies, currency devaluation, or government corruption can undermine investors' confidence, destabilize financial markets, and weaken the national economy on time, ultimately impacting national security. Cyber security threats. Fake news propagated through social media and other online platforms can also serve as a vector for cyber attacks, such as scams, posing risks to individual businesses and government institutions. Let's look at the strategies for addressing impact of fake news. Legislation and regulation. Implementing laws specifically targeting to disseminate the dissemination of fake news can serve as a deterrent. However, it's essential to ensure that such laws uphold freedom of speech and expression while effectively addressing malicious information. Additionally, the government can work with social media platforms to enforce existing regulation and develop new mechanisms to identify and remove fake content. Government can adopt what I refer to as carrot stick approach, whereby citizens are rewarded or praised for speaking the truth and criminalized, sanctioned, or punished when fake news are peddled. Media literacy. Investing in media literacy programs in primary and secondary schools and communities can empower citizens to critically evaluate information they encounter online. Promoting responsible journalism. Encouraging ethical journalism practices among media organizations can help combat the spread of fake news. The government can provide incentives for media outlets that adhere to professional standards and penalize those that knowingly spread false information. The Army can partner with Glo and Airtel and other providers so that security telephone hotlines, I've said that before. We can also talk about international cooperation. Given the global nature of social media and the internet, collaborating with international partners to address the fake news can be beneficial. Now, if you look at our universities, there is a course called citizenship education. Citizen education is a general course in our university. And the role of fake news, its effects and consequences on our national to state security, or punishments thereto for the news carrier and rewards should be part of that cost. You know, we can bring in just a component of the cost on the role of fake news. Citizens through media debates should be told to desist from forwarding data on the internet whose sources are unknown and its veracity and reliability cannot be trusted. Then in conclusion, the proliferation of fake news on social media poses a significant threat to Nigeria and national security, undermining social cohesion, political stability, and economic development. Addressing these threats requires concerted effort from stakeholders, governments, civil society, media, technology companies to promote responsible online behavior, combat misinformation, and safeguard the integrity of public discourse. However, by prioritizing truth, transparency, and accountability, Nigeria can mitigate the harmful effects of fake news and build a more resilient and cohesive society. Abians should look at the army beyond their uniforms and see them as friends and brothers who laid their lives for us and needs accurate and reliable information from us to protect us. Nearby, with the rate of security breaches all over, we need the army and the army needs us to function in love and trusting each other. Reliable information is the tonic of this love and trust. Reliable information is the tonic for this love and trust to grow and for the new Abia to be actualized. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that well-researched and delivered paper by Professor J. Oboni. Please, another round of applause for him. Thank you very much, sir. The special guest and the Dean, Combat Support Council Research Children Army Heritage and Culture Center, Major General Titi Mbere, very senior officers, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. We had the first paper presentation, the second paper presentation. Now we'll have the interactive session. And due to want of time, permit me to most respectfully and dutifully invite our erudite and eloquent senior officer, Lieutenant Colonel I.O. Kolawole, the Commander, 14th Brigade Garrison, to take the next session. Please help applause us on this.
The special guest of the occasion, Major General T. Mbere, senior officers, our distinguished resource persons, invited guests, ladies and gentlemen. We are now in the interactive session. To join me on the stand for this interactive session, let me first of all call on the two resource persons.
How you doing?
Professor J.U. Ogona and Dr. Eiz Odige. Doctor, man. Also, permit me, sir, to humbly request the Commander 14th Brigade, Brigadier General Oodia, to join us on the stand. Brigadier General Oodia is a seasoned senior infantry officer. He has acted in various capacities in command, staff, and instructional appointments. You are welcome, sir. Lastly, I will call on one of our own that all of us know, a veteran Hollywood actor and a seasoned social media influencer. Ladies and gentlemen, permit me to welcome Osita Iheme to the stand. Sir, the interactive session would follow the following sequence. First, I would allow the discussants, the two discussants, to make inputs to add value to the papers that were presented. That should take us about 10 minutes. Thereafter, I will take questions from the audience. I will take 6 questions. The questions should be related to the papers that were presented, please. Okay, sir. So we are going to take as many questions as possible. So that should take us about 25 minutes. Thereafter, I would humbly request senior officers and resource persons seated on the front row to make comments and contributions to the papers that were presented. Then I would call on the resource persons to give their parting inputs to the discussion. And lastly, I will most respectfully call on Major General T. Mumbere to sum up the session. Before I hand over the microphone to the two discussants, permit me to make my own input, sir. Now, for me, the most important aspect of this discussion is the implementation of the policy as regards responsible use of social media. The Defense Headquarters gave us a policy framework, the Defense Headquarters policy on the use of social media for Armed Forces of Nigeria. And at the operational level, the implementation is sufficient. When we look at the contributions of the Defense Space Administration and the Cyber Warfare Command, to ensure that the policy that was given by Defense Headquarters is being implemented. There are several instances whereby defaulters of this policy have been sanctioned severely, and that has deterred other defaulters. But at the lower level, the unit and sub-unit level, the resources are not adequate to ensure monitoring of the content of the social media. So for me, that is an area that we need to look into. Let me now hand over to the first discussant to make their input. Thank you, sir.
our special guest, Major General Titi Member, our resource persons, very senior officers here present, ladies and gentlemen. I am Brigadier General OODR, Commander, 14th Brigade. Ohafia, Nigerian Army. The power of social media cannot be overemphasized. Social media has the capability of bringing people together, of connecting different people from different places in a small environment that we refer to as the global village. It is the fastest way of passing information to a very large audience with a twinkle of an eye or with the press of the button on our phones or on our laptops. It is unique in its way because it brought technology to our bedrooms. Within the comfort of our bedrooms, of our offices, we can do so much. However, as wonderful as the social media is, it has both negative and positive effects, as was highly explained by the two resource persons. So it now depends on where we belong. The man behind the social media angle. What is the person? What is his motive? What is his purpose? What does he want to use the social media for? Is it to propagate positive vibes or negative vibes? For the military, we need the people to help us achieve our constitutional mandate. And the only way we can do that is by information from you, the populace, from the Abians. And the social media platform is a very good tool that we can use for that purpose. So I will indulge us all to please take positive advantage of the social media, to please pass information to us, to assist us and the other security agencies to nip all the criminal activities in the bud before they get beyond our powers. One of such criminal activities is kidnapping. The moment you observe that somebody is being taken forcefully against his wish, please use the social media angle to send information to any of the military establishments close to you, so that we can act fast before such a person is taken to an unknown destination. So I'll just stop here to give my other discussants room to express his own view on social media. Thank you.
Next is Osita Yemi.
That's all right.
Hello. You have heard from our commander the use of social media and the negative impact. Like he said, there are so many ways you can use your social media. You can use it to entertain, you can use it to pass information. You can use it to sell your business, which is your hustle. It's not meant for you to be passing wrong information, posting things that you don't have information about, you don't know the source. You need to use it in a positive way, just like he rightly said. If you notice that somebody must be moved from a place to another place out of his or her wish, you need to use your social media to report to the nearest security agency. It's not for you to be making caricature or posting video anyhow without finding a way to rescue the person. So in general, the social media is for you to use it for a positive impact, not causing problem. I repeat, stop causing wahala with it. Some people are concentrating on drawing traffic to their handles. By doing that, they post anything they see. It's wrong. And some people also using it for their business. Some people also using it to entertain, to educate, and for information. So, but what we are saying now is use it in such a way. We use it to help the security people to do their work very well, and also use it for yourself to be safe wherever you are. It's not for you to be playing with it, to be using it as if you're watching cartoon. So, we are still here. Thank you so much.
Next, we'll take questions from the audience. So I will start from those seated to the left side of the hall. The gentleman behind raising his hand there. Please give him the microphone.
Thank you so much, sir. All protocols duly observed. My name is Victor Mokocha. I write for ojembamagazine.com. I would like to, very quickly, for the want of time, make an observation which I hope would not be considered to be outside the scope of what we have been discussing today. But generally, I think the major focus here is to improve military-civil relations, particularly as it has to do with the Nigerian Army. So that's why I'd like to make this observation. There is a very consistent issue that continues to generate tension between the Army personnel and the civilians. It's happening even right now as we speak. And I wouldn't know from, the layman's point of view, what are the instructions given to those who man military checkpoints? Why would they always require civilians to disembark from vehicles and walk with hands in the air? It happens particularly at the checkpoint before the Imo Airport junction on the express. It happens everywhere. You can get the audience. So, now, if we record these things and post, we may be delivering a message that may be considered injurious to the image of the army. But at the same time, civilians suffer this every day. So, in the context of responsible use of social media, I would like to suggest, sir, that both we, the civilians, and the personnel be properly educated on the kind of interactions we must have that wouldn't generate such tensions that may lead us into making such posts that may, at the end of the day, cause more tensions. Thank you so much, and God bless you.
Please, thank you, sir. Please, let's ask questions related to the papers that were delivered. Okay.
Hello. We are going to answer all your questions. But when any question that has to do with the military and conduct, some of them will be answered by the senior officers here. While the one that has to do with the immediate environment, the brigade, the commander is here. He will answer you. But the one that has to do with general conduct of soldiers, Oga is here to address that. The one that has to do with Ohafia, Anambra, Abia, specifically, the brigade commander is on this podium to answer that. So it's not out of place for you to ask questions such as what he has just asked. But don't ask questions that any of us here will want to answer. You know such questions. You cannot be asking to turn loot from brotherhood to sisterhood. That kind of one, you are not going to answer it. Don't call that clap now. Okay, you can continue with your question. But you don't need to come and stand in front now. You sit down, they will identify you and give you the mic.
Okay.
Because you might pass you and go and get somebody behind, you need to sit down because you are taking advantage when you stand up. Am I right?
Okay. The young man seated to the rear there, raising his hand. Yes, you. The one in blue. The one in blue. Yes, you. You.
All right, thank you very much. Obi Nawabra is my name, and Dr. Elise, you talked about negative content, and I would have expected that you, by negative content, just like similar to what he asked. Now we are talking about civil military relationship and the NSAS and the social media. Let me take us back to 2020 when we had NSAS. SARS, when we talk about NSAS, we talk about social media too, but not talking about us. Prof, the military as we should see them beyond their uniform. Now we have a uniform, a military that Nigerians dread. The military is dreaded in Nigeria because of the torture we have. Good thing, we are here in Abia State talking about civil military relations. In this April, we had an issue in Omar here that the military was involved, somebody died. In December, Abia State, I'm happy the police is here too. Last week we had an incident that police and somebody died too, and we are talking about civil relationship. Now, if we put such things, because always when you see things threaded on the internet, that's where the law enforcement agencies is there. So if we post such thing to get your attention, does it also contribute to is it what we term does it amount to negative content? Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Let's take one more question from this side before we go to the other side. Yes. Yes, you. No, you, the security agent.
I'm chaplain officer. Good afternoon, everybody. I am Chaplain Daniel Joe Alimi. I want to ask a question. But I want to to ask a question. I lead an organization, Nigeria Christian Civil Chaplaincy. I'm the commandant of that organization. And we only publish good things about Nigeria. We only pray for Nigeria. And I had a page that was about 105,000 as of 2 years back. But before I officially started the prayer session, I always gather pastors, we come together and we pray for Nigeria, pray for the secret agencies. So, what the page started dropping. The followers, everything about the page was going there. And I decided, I don't know what was happening. So I went back to the page and I searched. What I saw there was so surprising. 90% of the comments that we do receive from the people were all negative. Always seem as if what we are doing there is of wasting of our time, something like that. So as I'm talking to you right now, our page is now 67,000. It's now 67,000. The page dropped to 67,000. Now,
Please go straight to the point and answer the question.
my point is this. Should we stop publishing good things about the country or should we continue? And if we continue, what will be the result of, or what would somebody learn from what is happening to us? Because I know that those are issues where many people normally engage in publishing fake news. Because when you publish something fake, everybody wants, everybody comes to the page and they publish it very fast. But negativity doesn't move on the social media. So what should we do?
One house. Hello. Okay. I'll just take one last question from this side. From this side, I will take. Do you want to ask? Okay, the lady behind. Give the microphone to the lady behind.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Nora Okafor. I work for Arise News. My question is actually very straightforward, and I want to find out the kind of training that is being given to the army personnel who are stationed on our roads. And this is because of the fact that you get to find out that once a military man sees you taking a call, even while you're close to them, one thing they do is to take it from you without asking questions. Then again, they go ahead to beat on people unnecessarily without allowing you the right of reply. And one of the incidences that happened recently at Stanbridge Hotel in Omaha is one significant event where the military molested the people there, even without allowing them to say what happened. So I want to know, what is the major reason for those things? What can we do in situations where this military keeps intimidating us while we talk about civil-military relations? Thank you.
Okay, at this point, I would we'll pause with the questions so that we can respond. We have 4 questions already. So for the first question, I will